So I reached the pinnacle of my runs by qualifying for the most coveted marathon, the Boston Marathon thrice. From here, I went on to take up the challenge of swimming. From a doggy paddle swim, at the age of 45, I started learning swimming, and now I'm comfortable swimming in open waters with the idea of doing triathlon in the future. What started as fun rides with my children and their friends, cycling took to a new level. I've cycled maximum of 300 kilometers in a day in 16 hours. So with all this backing of endurance sports for the past 10 years, life really began at 40 for me. I was set to run the Boston Marathon after qualifying in April of 2023. Just 1 month of due to run and ready to leave with all the preparations done, I developed a huge disc bulge. My doctors ruled out any running activity for me and it was a huge setback just a year ago. I had this dream of Everest as my next challenge, probably in the year 2025 or 26. But since I could not take up any running activities, I shifted to walking. And I was comfortable walking. So after interacting with few Everesters and few mountain climbers, decided to take on the challenge of Everest, advancing it to 2024. It's not enough to be just a fit person, you have to get mountain fit to climb mountains. Without any mountain background, no climbing history, I started working on it. Started climbing the hills in Mysore. We have a small hill, Chamundi Hill, with a backpack weight. Started with a very humble weight and a humble distance and took it to great distances. To help me in breathing and to calm myself mentally, I started practicing pranayama and also strength training in the gym. This being my training in Mysuru for the past 2 to 2.5 years, I had to learn something about mountain climbing. I'm very thankful to TSAF because as earlier one of the speakers said, we are not allowed, 50 plus are not allowed to into any of the schools in India. They honed my skills for mountain climbing, did training with them, and they were also kind enough to accompany me or admit me in their trekking group. So I did few treks with them. Although I was warned that I should do one 8,000 meter, least a 7,000 meter peak before attempting Everest, the highest I'd done was 6,100 meters and also failed to summit Kangatsi as a part of my training. So with all these preparations and I most importantly, my Sherpa's positivity that I could do it. I did a test kind of trekking with my Sherpa to just to get to know and get his approval for signing up. I did a test summit with him around the EBC in the winters of 2023. Only after he approved of my fitness levels, I decided to go ahead for the 2024 Everest Summit. And Everest is synonymous to death from the place where I come from, Mysore city, a small city in south of India. So when I expressed this to my near and dear ones, there was a lot of opposition, there was a lot of hue and cry. Amidst my own fears that I had to face in signing up for this expedition. But finally they gave in, they know that I'm a stubborn self when it comes to these things. So that's my family, my children and my husband. They had no clue. My husband only works, he's an orthopedic surgeon. He has no clue about the finances. So I wrote a note to them saying all the finance details of the finances are here. And if God forbid something happens I do not come back, you should know that I've loved you all, lived the best of my lives with you all. So with this mindset that anything might happen, I set out for my Everest journey, ready for a new beginning and a new pursuit. On April 2nd, I left Mysore, reached Kathmandu on April 3rd, and April 6th, we headed out from the base camp. The journey actually started at Ramachap. The adventure started there when we took this 14-seater flight from Ramachap to Lukla. It's a very scary and an adventurous flight, I should say. And I had very good companions of 8 people who accompanied me till the base camp. And it was like a picnic trip till the base camp. And suddenly, when they all disappeared, leaving me at the base camp, it reminded me of my first day in college when my parents left me at the dormitory, hostel dormitory, and left. But thankfully, my agency of Snowy Horizon Agency and my 2 wonderful, fantastic teammates, Javier and Babar, they took care of me so well that I hardly missed home. So was all set to go on my Everest expedition from the base camp. So the first thing we did was a puja. Traditionally, as all of us know, the first thing the Sherpas do is a puja at the base camp. After that, about 15 to 16 days of training in the base camp, different peaks and doing skill training. And by May 1st, we were all set. And the next phase was really hard, waiting for the good weather window. We waited almost for 13 full days for good weather window, every day hoping that tomorrow will be the day, 2 days later will be the day. Finally, on 13th of May, late in the night, we headed out, started from base camp, crossed the Kumbai's Fall and reached Camp 1. Since I was a bit of a slow climber and a new climber, we decided to spend one night in Camp 1 rather than going straight to Camp 2. Spend the next 2 days at Camp 2, the next day at Camp 3, and finally reached Camp 4 after trekking for 9 hours from Camp 3 to Camp 4. So at Camp 4, we reached around 3 o'clock and rested only for about 3 hours. And my Sherpa pushed me that we are going for the summit push. The same night, we headed out at 6:30 in the evening. And after climbing for 12 long hours, continuous through the night, the weathers were quite favorable, not so windy, not so much of snow. I was on top of the world on 19th May at 6:10 a.m. I would say I would agree with Dr. Murad that I am also a very commercial climber. So without my Sherpa support, definitely this would not have been possible. I'm thankful to Purba Sherpa for this. I just want to share a few things, the mojo that goes behind me, the person that I am, what makes me do these things. So, and how do I balance the different aspects in my life? This is a question that's generally posed to me. So all of us have 24 hours in a day. This is just a sneak peek. I want you all to, just to show how I spend my day. And if you see, most of my time goes in my professional work, and other important aspect is sleep. I love sleeping and I sleep a lot. The remaining time is balanced between my kitchen work, my personal work, and my workouts. So the message that I want to tell the youngsters is it is possible. You just have to learn to give priorities and to delegate time to each of the activities that you want to do. And although it seems to be a very easy and a very glorious affair, I've had setbacks. Who doesn't have? All of us have setbacks in this journey. I fractured both my hands during a cycling expedition way back in 2013. Had a huge disc bulge just a year ago, which kept me on the bed for a month. And also could not submit Kangi at C1, which was a huge mental block just before the Everest expedition. But all these have taught me to only come out stronger, and I am stronger today. I believe the formula for excellence is hard work, and hard work. 90% is hard work, 5% I believe in prayers. The prayers not that I do, the prayers that the people around me, the loved ones do it for me. And 5% yes, of course, luck. This hard work took me through to the finish line of Ironman triathlon. For those of you, it's Ironman triathlon is a one-day single toughest triathlon challenge where you swim 3.8 kilometers in open waters, followed by 180 kilometers of cycling, and end it with 42 kilometers of running. So all these to be completed in 17 hours. And I completed this in the year 2019, December, at Busselton, Australia. And really hard work pays. It's never failed me either in my studies or otherwise. And I was surprised to see at the end of the year 2019 that I was ranked first among the Indian women triathletes by Ironman Federation. And also successfully reached the top of Sagar Mata, being the first civilian woman from Karnataka to reach the Everest top at the age of 52.10 years. All of us have heroes. Heroes are the ones who give us motivation and aspirations. Without them, there's no life. So I too have had my set of heroes. This is Sharath, who used to work, who is a runner, a friend of mine, who used to work at Tata Steel, and he introduced me to Tata Steel Foundation. By Chindripal ma'am, whom I met during my training at Jamshedpur, she believed in me so much that she said, no, you can do it. That meant a lot. A whole team of TSAF, Ashmita ma'am, Paul sir, and the whole team who trained me and accepted me as one of their own. Shyamna, who herself is an avid trekker from Mysore, and she said, Usha, if anybody from Mysore can achieve this feat, it's you. So that's the kind of belief she had, and she was instrumental in introducing me to Chetna Sahu, who has been my soul and backbone for my Everest expedition. Apart from helping me, all these people have taught me a lot of kindness, which I'm trying to imbibe and lead my life with kindness, which I feel is very, very important. Why do I do this? All of us like the feeling of high, and exercise high is legal, why not? Truly, it's not for the traditional currency rewards, money. I don't get any money, rather, I spend a lot of money doing these activities. Recognition, I did not set out to do this for recognition, but now that I do get, I feel really happy about it. But the actual reason why I do this is to test my own potential, to see that I push myself one step further and further. The satisfaction in everyday workout, not just the goal, but the everyday workout that I do. New learnings. We meet a lot of people around us in this journey, so there's always a new learning, and my desire to keep climbing higher and higher in life. The mountains have taught me a lot of things, but four important things that I want to share with you all is 3 years back, I never thought I could really climb the Everest, but trusted in the process, trusted in the people around me, impossible became possible. If you have expendable money, please do to spend it on your passions. I'm happy to share that. I had saved some money and I used it all for the Everest expedition. All of us know Everest is a very expensive affair, and I'm happy to have done it to pursue my passion. Many times I had dreamt and had goosebump feelings imagining reaching the top. But actually, when I reached the top, the feelings are very neutral. I think most of the Everesters will agree. So it's actually the journey that really matters rather than the summit itself. Finally, the 5 prayers. Never been a prayer person. I believe in action rather than prayers. But Sagar Mata has taught me to believe in prayers. So finally, from this simple iron woman at home to crossing the Ironman finish line, and simple fitness girl climbing stairs at my gym to reaching the top of the world. Ush, as my friends call me, my evolution has been really great, from a runner to a triathlete to a mountaineer, endorsing fitness at 50 plus. Thank you all for the patience.